Hi, my name's Wayne Crooks. I'm the Technical Support Officer for Emelec, and today I want to show you how to change the batteries on our MSL8 and our MSL20. The MSL30 is exactly the same process as the MSL20, so we'll do those two, and if you've got any questions after, give the 1300 222 446 number a call, and I'll happily have a chat to you. All right, thanks, let's get into it. So this is a Mirage 8, and over here we have a Mirage 20. So what I'm going to do is just show you, I've already removed some of the screws. To remove the screws, we need a Torx 20H with the hole in it. We're going to continue removing the screws. Okay. So the one thing we have to make sure is, although we can remove the screws, they all have to go back in. So now we simply have to just remove the cover. In some cases, we may have to get a fine screwdriver just to elevate it. Okay, now we have to be careful here because, as you can see, we have our battery which sits here, but we also have a seal all the way around here, so we need to make sure we do not any way damage that seal. You'll also notice that we have a lanyard, so if we're doing this up high, we're not at risk of dropping anything or dropping the actual unit itself. Okay, so to get to the battery, look, we can undo these clips, but in most cases they'll just slip to the end, slide these all to the end, and then we can look to remove the battery. Now, removing the battery isn't as hard as we think. We have a Phillips screw here, which we'll remove. Okay, and we have another one on this side. So by removing this is the battery support panel. It also helps to remove them all the way, not just some of the way. Okay, so again, we remove that, slide that off to one side, and that reveals our battery. Okay, so simply lift the battery up. Now, in this case, we would just cut that connector off here, and that connector off there, and we could replace that battery. All right, now we do the reverse. We have to make sure this heat shield goes back into place. We have to make sure the seal is in place. But simply, when we get the new battery, we can use either BP connectors, or we can use spade terminals or anything like that. And then we slide the battery back in, cover it up, make sure the cables are all safe and in place, slide it over and put our bracket back over the top. All right, so that's on the Mirage, the 8-watt Mirage. All right, so that's the type of battery it is. Okay, so we just get a replacement battery and slide it straight in. So this is our 20-watt Mirage. So basically we're going to remove all of these screws. We need a 20H Torx for this. So we're nearly there. Okay. So we'll just get something to lever out the control box. I'll lever it from the front so you can all see. Okay, so you can see the gasket's already started to come up. What you can see under here is we've got two brackets and one battery sitting underneath. So what we'll do is we'll just remove these. So you've got 4 screws in each bracket, and you have to undo all 4 screws. Nearly there. So we've just undone the 8 screws. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that enables us to lift these brackets up, move those aside. Okay, revealing this heat cover, which now reveals our battery. Okay, so now basically to replace the battery, not unlike the MSL8, we actually can cut the cables here, take that battery away, bring the new battery in, use BP connectors, spade connectors or something like that to give us a good solid connection. I mean, we are only looking at 14 volts, so, and we can replace the battery pack. All right, so that's the battery pack we're looking at. All right, so now we've just replaced the battery pack, so we must just complete the reverse to put it all back together. All right, so the first thing is we'll lay that in. Now we'll slide our heat shield over. Okay, so we've got to make sure that's in place, and then we'll put our covers back on, our brackets back on over there. Okay. All right, so what we've done now is we've put all the 8 screws back in, so we know everything's set, our panel's in place, we've checked our seal, our seal's all nicely in place, but what we've got to do now is seat this. Now, when we're seating this, we have to make sure, A, it goes the right way, our cables are all out of the way, and we've got to make sure it seats flat. So as you can see, that one is flat, nice and secure. We've checked the gas, it's all in place. So we're ready to screw that back in now. Screws back in. So what we've done now is we've put all of our screws back in, and we've checked them for tautness and run our hand around the edge to make sure everything's nice and flat. So now we're ready to charge that light. So it's always good to charge them before you actually put them back up. So charge it, give it a good 24 hours, and then reinstall it. Now, if it's a brand new battery, there's a good chance it's already come pre-charged, and you can just install it. The best way of checking is to use your remote, turn it on, and give it a test straight away. All right, so that's the MSL20. The MSL30 is exactly the same process, and has just a slightly larger battery. All right, thanks guys, thanks for watching.